So I had a question recently about how to create multiple cells from Microstation. So previously I made a video about how to do something similar. So now I want to do the same thing but entirely from Excel. So yeah, let me explain my theory. So I know it might seem boring, but trust me, it's very important. So there's two ways to make a cell, right? With Microstation, there's tons of ways of doing the same thing. So the first way of doing a cell, you come to annotation and then you create a cell from a cell menu. So just say create cell. This is how you normally do it. The other way of doing it is you draw shapes. Let's say if I have two shapes like that, I select them, then I group and form the cell. I can even give it a name. I'll say, let me see if I can give it a name here. Can I? Yeah, I can. New cell. Okay, and I have a cell. So something I'm gonna do it will be something similar. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create two shapes and then group them, and then to form a cell, then do a rename. Okay, so let's do that. So obviously you have your connection. Now, if you don't know how to get to here, I will let me close this. For example, you go to Visual Basics, click here, then you're in. All right, and then if you go Insert Module, you click here, you can add module. If you want, you can give it a name, but for now, I don't think it really matters. So I'm gonna just leave it like that for now, because I'm just gonna create two simple codes. Anyway, so now we have the first two lines that we always begin with in the situation. So I'm gonna try to create a simple circle. So let's say let's define a circle first. Define my sur, okay, as ellipse element. So here it's called an ellipse, which is a circle basically. And then my origin is point 3D. You can choose 2D if you want, but it doesn't matter. But I prefer to go 3D. And then you want your rotation. Okay, so there you have it. With those 5 lines, now you can start creating our shape. So what I'm gonna do, okay, or maybe this whole thing here, station, Excel, connector. So I'm gonna set. So I'm gonna paste that. Then equal. I want to get object bracket okay, yeah, don't worry, I'm still working on it. Do that, and that should be fine. And then I also will copy this as well. Go down, set I can get away with using that in here rather than typing the whole thing in. Good. Let me see. Yeah, that seems to be okay. So this part here will connect the Excel to Microstation. Now we want to define our origin point. So, and again, I'm gonna just to save time, copy this. I'm gonna say define origin. So what you want to do, your x coordinate, let's give it a 0, and you want again your y. What you're gonna do is you are gonna again set my sir equal this one here. So now here it says you want a template, an origin, radius, a primary is the horizontal one, and the other one is vertical, and the rotation 3D. So I'm going to say nothing here because I don't have a template. Nothing. And then I'll say origin for the coordinate origin point. So by typing this it will pick up the X and the Y, and then now you want the radius, so say 0.5, 0.5, and for rotation, I'll just copy this, and that should be it. Now I'll copy this again. Now this part here, this bit, it doesn't really you can do without it, but I like to do it because it gives me something like this, which I can just click into it, which means I'm actually picking up the right code rather than me from actually trying myself. So add element, I'll say my sir. So now I hope that this part here should create a circle. Let me try. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Okay, so I'll come back to the code. So I will delete it and try again. So if I click that, it worked. Good. So now as I said before, we want to create multiple shapes. So for this case, I'll only create two circles. So I'll make one smaller. I'll make it let me see, 0.1. Okay. So if I do now, let me delete this. Okay. So if you get a fresh set, if I click here, okay, run, boom, there we have it. So now we have two circles. Now still it's not yet a cell. If I select them, let me see, you can see you get two circles. Now for you to change this into a cell, you need to be able to select them. This will be similar by doing Control A in your keyboard, okay, and then you group them like that. Good. But now you want to do this through a code, not by clicking. Okay, so the code way of doing this, it will be let me go back to our thing here. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a code for selecting things. Now what you want to do after creating the two circles here, now you want to select them by let me put a code here, combine to form cell. Good. So all I want is I don't want everything, but let me see, I don't want that, but I want this. Good. So what can I do here? Can I do dot card input command, then send. So you can see here you get to see many options that you can play with, but I want to do that one, and then I can say choose all. Okay, just gonna copy this, it's just easier. I want it there and there. Good. So now you are gonna choose them all, and then you're gonna group them. So I'm gonna say group selection, and then I'm gonna choose none. So to unselect, choose none. Good. So let me try that now. Good. So now I can see that was quick. It drew two circles and combined them to form a cell. Now there's a problem here, and I'll show you. So if I let me move this here. Now try to follow what it does, right? So it draws the first circle, it draws the second one, then it selects all using Control A from your keyboard, well, something similar, then it groups them. You can see that happens. So what happens here, when it says choose all, it chooses everything. Okay, so it doesn't know, okay, I'm supposed to be choosing the new one and not the previous one. So you want to be able to kind of isolate this or protect the first cell before creating a second one. So what you will do, now you can either, there's two ways. Now I'll give you a new concept. So now you can use lock and unlock. Now by doing lock and unlocking, again, it allows you to do a lot of things, because sometimes you want to do something, but because there's no way you can pick up one item, against the other one. So now let me show how in theory how that looks like. So let's imagine, okay, I create one cell, this one here, and then I'll put it there for now. Then so here you can lock and unlock element. So if I lock it up, see now that says locked, right? So um where's Excel? Okay, if I click run, that was able to do it, but when it does selection, because this is locked, so this it wouldn't change anything. It only pick up the unlocked one. And this is how I was able to kind of get around this problem. So, and again, I will move it here and lock it again. So if you lock element, even if you try to move it, let's say if you try to move, it doesn't move. So nothing will happen because it's locked. So let me try again one more time. So you see what happens. So if I create now, if you watch carefully, you can see what happens. So it does try to pick it up, but it can't because it's locked. So that's the idea. So if you look again, you can see what's happening. That happened. So it did try to pick it up, but because it's locked, nothing happens. So it only pick up the unlocked one. So now you get the idea. Now how are we doing this? So the idea is now you can do it many ways. You can either lock the cell after creating it here, or you can do it before creating a cell. So I prefer doing it before, because let's say if you have other elements, let's say like text or I don't know, other shapes in 3D, and you do want anything to happen to them, it's better to kind of protect them beforehand. So I'll do, the code looks similar, so I'll copy this anyway. So you want to choose everything, then you're gonna lock here. So you're gonna say change lock, then choose none. So this will do, you select everything that you have, then lock for everything. If it's locked, no worry, that will still stay locked, and then you say choose none. So if I go back now, if I try to do, well, I tried to delete, but because it's locked, it doesn't even delete. So you're gonna have to first unlock, then delete. Good. So you get the idea. So anyway, so I'm gonna create now a cell. Okay, that's there. Now this is still not locked, that's why I can move it. Okay. Now if I create a new one now, okay, now what will happen first, it will apply the lock before drawing a second one. So if I click here, run, good. So you can see now this is a separate cell and that is a separate cell. So it's not like a two combined cells. Now we need to now rename. Okay, rename or give it a new cell name. Good. So now the same thing follows. You need to be able to pick up the cell and do a rename. However, now the choose all method, it doesn't really work here. Now you want to be able to do like a scan through and then scan cells with no name. Like for example, this one here, I can see name is empty. Okay, so we're gonna create a scanning code that will go through all the cells and look for the one that with no name and then change the name. So I'll go back to let me see. So for this one, I'm gonna do a separate code. I don't want to mix the two because this is a bit too much here anyway, and I try to keep it nice and simple and tidy. So I'll say let's call this cell rename, shall we? You can call anything you want, but I think this makes a bit of sense. So anyway, so first thing first, you need to define your variables. So let's start. You want that, and then also you want AS. So okay, now you want to set that you are scanning for something new, but before you scan first, you want to exclude all the types. and then you want to include just a cell, so I can say es include. Now I haven't tried this one, but which does make sense, but before that I have used is include type, so I can say include type, then msg, this one, cell headers. Okay, so you want that, so this one it will scan for everything. Then now once you have scanned, but now okay, now here it defines the scanning code. Now you want to be scanning it in an active model. Okay, so now you want to say, okay, now do this, but do it in an active model, which is this one here. So I'm gonna say set active model reference dot scan. Okay, yes, good. Okay, so it's gonna scan, and so it's gonna scan an active model, and it will pass on that one in the scan into the search. So now once you have scanned that, now what you want to do now, let me get a small space. Now you want to, obviously, as you're scanning and as you're getting those elements, you want to put them into a container. So I'm going to define an array. So I'll say L array. Okay, I'm going to say build array from content. Okay, and then you want your start and the end. Okay, now the good thing is, even if you don't put capitals, all it will do it for you. So I'm just gonna just put lower cases because it knows what it means. Good. So it will put them into a container, an array, and then you define there's a start and an end into this big list. Array is basically just like a list. So now I'm gonna loop through each of element in the list and rename. So I'm gonna say loop through array. Good. So when I'm gonna use the for loop here. You could use either, but I'm gonna use the for loop. You can say for I. So I is a counter. Okay, so I'm gonna start from 1, 2, and 3. So I want the I start. So the array, the first number to be the first one. So it will set the I to number 1, and then to I end. So whatever the end is, that will be our last number. Good. So now next stage is, now we want to check if the string or the name is empty, or if there's no name, then do something about it. So I can say if string, so str comp, check for the name. If the name is nothing, so that would be nothing. So it's like two marks like that, and then I'm gonna say comma, do comparison, and then equal 0, send. So dot name. So for now, I'll just give it one name. I'll say let's call this new cell. Good. So if you find something that's empty, call it new cell. And then you want to do something. I'll copy this. You want to do dot rewrite. So let's say rewrite. Good. So that should do it. Now you want to end your if statement. So I'll say end if, and then you also want to go to the next element in the loop. So I'm gonna say go back and say next. Good. So now that it should work. Now let me first create a cell. Now let me try to rename. That seems easy. Okay, let me check first before I. Yeah, it's called new cell. So it has created a cell and it has renamed it. So now let me now try to do it all into one one command, so I'm gonna delete this. So what you can do, other than combining these cells into one giant cell, I'm just gonna call the second command here. So I'm gonna say call. So I'm gonna call this command as soon as it creates a cell. So here what I'm saying is I'm saying create a cell. Then once you have done creating cell, then apply the rename routine. So it means it will apply this line. So if I now run together, we'll see that's it. So now you have a cell, and it has been given a name, call it new cell. So let me move it here, and then let me change the name into maybe new cell B. Okay, like that. And then I will do again run. Okay, so if I move this, you can see now this one is called new cell B. So in theory, it does work. Now you can create a cell and rename from Excel. Now this is okay for doing a single cell, but I think you want to be able to do multiple cells. This is the main point of automation. Let's see, for example, if you have something like this, you have multiple cell names and multiple coordinates. You want to be able to kind of repeat this over and over again. So I'm going to do video for my second part, but at least if you so far able to get through this point, so it means you can definitely get through this easily. I think the main part is done, so now it's just about uh, to do the second bit of doing multiple cells. Okay, so I'll see you on my next video for that second part. Okay, thank you.